We're going to talk about straight canes like this. This is the Irish shillelagh. Talk about a crook cane, which is more traditional. You'll see a lot of these. This is probably your best option for taking it anywhere and everywhere you go. Although you can get a straight cane most places too. But we'll talk about all the extra features of a crook cane. And we'll talk about the homemade self-defense walking stick, also known as a Japanese Okinawan hanbo, which is, they're all about 36 inches. And you might have one taller or longer because you're a taller person or shorter. Doesn't matter the length. You can do these techniques with each one of these. I'm going to start first with the self-defense walking stick, just a basic Japanese hanbo, a straight stick. So it could be a straight cane. If you have a ball on the top, like on that Irish shillelagh, or if you have like a fancy one, like a brass ball or whatever, it also works with that. So these are the same techniques. First thing you're going to do is put it in your hand. You're going to train with it. You have 3 ways to get it into the fight for self-defense. Sorry, the first one is sliding down the back. And the Irish, they would do this weird stomping thing, which is not weird, we'll call it traditional. We're not going to do traditional. We're going to do get it in the fight fast, defend yourself, protect yourself. Hey, Studer, it's good to see you. This is live. Thanks for being here. So we're starting with a hanbo. You slide your hand down the back and then you bring it up into a defensive position. You could also just bring it straight up into that first strike. So we're going to talk about first strike. From here, this hand can come up to guard your head. You can put your helmet on, making this structure here, which is strong. He's coming in trying to close that gap. You can stop him in his tracks by driving that elbow into his face while your other hand is sliding down. So you can make this a habit to practice. Bend the knees, sliding your hand down the back, and then bring it up into this position. And as he comes in, you've given the verbal command, back up, I'll protect myself, get out of my face. He doesn't, you're stopping him, and you can smash straight through his teeth with the end of your walking stick. Thank you, Studer, for that generous super chat. So first position here, using the hanbo or the Japanese walking stick, sliding down the back, bringing it up, driving here, smashing here. The second thing you can do with it in this position is you can turn your fist down to the ground and smack him across the side of his head using the long side. So this turning motion, which is part of a spin, we can bring it back the other way, bring it over, bring it back in a figure 8 motion, and you can hit him on both sides of his head for self-defense. Now the question is, if I hit him, is it going to knock it out of your hand? And not if you have a firm grip and not if you're moving fast. Hey, Joey Plays is here. It's good to see you. Quick question about the walking stick. I missed the last part of your question. You have to put that in there again. So first position, put the helmet on as you bend the knees. You can do the Irish foot stomp if you want. But you come down, you bring it up, and you get immediately into the fight. You can add that turn. You can bring it back this way. I want you to pull it up here so that it's in your front hand, and you can thrust through the middle, sliding your hand down, and you bring it over the top of your head in this horizontal strike, right on the top of his head, turn his operating system off, knock him out for self-defense. We get that from Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. I'll put a link in the description below. From this position here, bend, you put your helmet on, there's that punch, there's the turn, come back here, lift it up here. This can also be a strike up between his legs, up under his chin. Maybe he's reaching, trying to punch, stab, grab, and you can smash here. 3-foot ubiquitous deadwood. Yeah, the hard thing about these, the chats on the lives, Studer, is they just like, they're up, and I can't read them so fast. So the best thing, if you could put them in the comment section, I'd love to, or of course you can always email me, but please put them in the comment section. I'd love to respond to those. I'd love to make it a conversation. We all start sharing ideas and sharing information, sharing experience, and that's what makes this such a valuable virtual dojo where we all learn together. All right, so from here, just going over these very quickly, using your straight walking stick first. I'll show you how to do it with the shillelagh here in a minute. Bend the knees, coming up, you've got the turn motion, you've got turning back, bringing it up. We said push it through here, slide your hand down, bring it down on top. You could also bring it at an angle. Think about into the body, think about taking out his knees, down into the legs if you want. Of course, you can come on one side, you can also come on the other side. From here, you can strike to the other side. You can also slide your hands through this way, and this is a practice with your hanbo, with your shorter staff that I'd like you to adopt. and get really good at this transition. So you can hit them on this side, hit them on this side, and your hands never leave your staff or your walking stick for self-defense. You can thrust in here, turn it, and thrust in here, hit the guy behind you, hit him here, put it back, slide forward, bring it through the side, kind of like a Japanese Jo for those of you who do the martial arts with the staffs. The hanbo is 36, the Jo is usually up about 54 inches, and the bow, the long one, is about 80 inches. But there's a lot of same techniques and some things that are unique just to each stick, each staff. All right, there's one more thing I want to show you from this position. So we put that helmet on, punch, turning back, throwing it this hand, pushing, smashing either with that angular strike or down over the top. And then I want you to pull like you're getting ready to do a pull up, and your hands are in this split grip, and then smash him right down the middle center of his face. You can move someone's head, you can move their whole body. So if you step in and you push him back this way, you can also box his ears. You can bring it through one side, you can turn. And I like this motion when you swing at the shoulder, you get a lot of force when you also turn through your shoulders and hips, and you step in and you're gonna lift them up off the ground with this simple striking motion right up. And of course, anything that goes up can also go down. Behind you, to the side, hit this guy, hit that guy, smash him here, bring it here. There's that hand change position, striking one side, striking the other side. And that's why I want you to practice that. The way you would practice that traditionally, you put your hands on either side of your walking stick, and then you would slide with a nice turn that way. And you know, this is a good way to spend time working out. And someone's going to say in the comment section, if you start spinning your staff like that, you're just wasting time. That's frill, that's fluff, that doesn't work. But I always like to think of it as a boxer skipping his rope. You skip the rope as a boxer to build timing and distance, to condition your legs and your heart and your lungs, to condition the muscles in the body. You skip rope to improve your speed and your accuracy when you get in the ring, and your endurance. You don't bring the rope into the boxing ring and fight with it. You fight with your fists, right? Same thing with some of these spins and turns and fancy moves that we might do. You might not use them for self-defense. And of course, this hand transfer you will use or could use very easily, very effectively. These are also blocks, by the way, pushing down. You can block on either side, block here, block here. But just like a boxer skips rope, when you start to do some spins, you're changing your hand grip, you're going through your fingers. You might not do that while you're defending yourself, but all of that spinning might turn into better timing, distance, speed, proprioception, spatial awareness, and just like a boxer skips rope, it's gonna improve your fighting skill, your ability with your staff, your walking stick. So we don't wanna miss it. Second way you're gonna get this into the fight, you can also switch. This used to be a 7-foot or 6-foot staff. And it's that, you can see it's that red oak that comes from, I think this one came from China or Pakistan. And it's dried out. They're really dried out. It's not a great wood. It's not as good as white oak in my opinion, in my experience. And I remember smashing it on the ground at a demonstration as part of I should have used a different staff. I should have been using a rattan staff, but I did kind of like a kung fu form onto the ground and it cracked it. And so I cut it down. That's how we got that. All right, second way to get into the fight. I'm sorry, the comments are popping up so fast, and it's the end of a long day, it was a crazy day at work today. I don't know what's going on, but there's something in I don't know if it's a full moon night, I don't think it is, but it was crazy. Maybe it's that big storm coming up north. All right, second way to get in the fight. We went down the back first. The second way is to go down the front. So when we go down to the back, the benefit here is that when you strike with it, he has to grab the short end. You have the long end, you're gonna win that fight easily. Going down the front, the advantage is reach. So now if he's got a blade, right? He's got a blade, you've got a big stick. He's cut you with this. You don't want him to hit you with that. So you're gonna keep him back with reach advantage. That means you're gonna hit him before he can even get close. Ideally, that's our goal, right? We want to stop them from hurting us for self-defense. So you slide down the front, you aim your staff, your walking stick, the hanbo, at the threat. Just think about pointing it right at the threat. So when you slide your hand here, same thing. I want you to make this a habit. Always get this hand up to protect this side of the head. That way, if you're like me and you're losing speed as you get older, and he's a little bit quicker because he's younger, or there's multiple, or there's many people attacking you, and you have to cover up and guard your head. When you put this here, it's not just a shield stopping him from hitting you and knocking you out, turning off your operating system, but it's also a shock absorber so that it doesn't hit you as hard. So when you have your hand here, if he hits you in the head, either side, you have this absorber, with this whole structure here, it's not gonna hurt as much. It's not gonna hit you as hard. It's not gonna be as likely to knock you out. So you get this hand up. As you slide down, your hand down here, your knees are bending, and then you point the thumb. Now in this position, you can use one arm to defend yourself with your walking stick, or you can use two hands to defend yourself with your walking stick. And here you can see, because it's this style, the straight style, you can change the hand position. This is a deflecting block, by the way. This is something you can practice on your own. And when you want more power, add a little step to it. Make sure you're turning it not with your arms, but with your body. Your shoulders and hips are coming forward, and there's a spiraling motion. And you get that spiraling motion by turning your wrist, and that also kind of locks it up. This hand is turning it over, and that locks that elbow, so that when you come forward and you hit him, it's almost like the Japanese sword, where your wrists are in line. So from here, you can block and chop, just like you would a bokken, a Japanese bokken, or a wooden sword, blocking, striking. Same thing you would do with your Japanese jo. And you can see this motion is one of my favorite motions, striking almost like a pull cue and turning the wrist up. Again, turning that wrist up kind of locks it in place, so when you hit him, your body moves back. If you don't do that, your arm moves back, because you're not strong in this structure, but you're strong in this structure. So when you turn and you thrust through his midsection, you knock his wind out, and you take away his ability to hit you, you start adding your block, and then your strike, and then it's a little bit shorter, sliding it, strike. You can practice coming from one side to the other, and then block and strike, and then step with it, and then step off to the angle and thrust and step to the other side. All I'm doing is stepping 1, 2, never crossing your feet. Step, 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 and see how you're turning your hips and your shoulders, and that turn becomes power for that block. And it doesn't have to be a block. That can be a strike right across the side of his face, or his head, or his temple, or into his neck, or maybe he's reaching with that knife and you're smashing and blocking, breaking his hand, knocking the knife out of his hand, and strike, and then down on top, or a thrust, or to the knee, taking his legs out from under him, and then into the solar plexus, and then down on the top of his head, and then through the side. But you get there simply by practicing this motion first, and then practicing this motion. Hey Hank, it's good to see you. Hank asked the question, people are equipped to teach. Some of them are, for sure. From here, some of them I've worked with in person. Some of them know more than I do, Hank. So you're sliding, thrusting, coming down on top, all the same things you might do with a longer staff. You're just doing with your 36-inch walking stick. And we might as well switch real quick so I can show you, but there are some extra features to this shillelagh I want you to see. Because Irish stick fighting is not the same as Japanese or Okinawan stick fighting. There are a lot of the same strikes though, and there are a lot of the same principles. Like I said, we're not going to be traditional here. We're going to be practical. We're gonna take what works and we're gonna apply them. So from here, we slid down the back at the beginning, right? We have that punch. Now here's the benefit of having this big fist here on the end. Yeah, Hank says we can build a whole foundation of instructors and hook and uppercut, and then bringing this up from the bottom, between the legs or up under the chin. And the great thing about this blackthorn shillelagh, blackthorn is this material here. I believe it's a root, or maybe it's part of the tree. I don't know. I think if you go to Old Shillelagh Stick Makers, all one word.com, that's where these came from. These came from Doug. Doug sent them to me. Thanks, Doug. But Doug got it from oldshillelaghstickmakers.com. And you can see if you wanted an authentic, beautiful. He used to have a storefront in Wicklow where we spent time this summer. I walked all over Wicklow looking for it, and it's not there any longer. It looks like it closed down during the COVID. You know, COVID killed everything. All the good stuff left under the COVID. Anyway, they're still there in the town of Shillelagh. So from here, sliding down the back, bring it up, there's your helmet. You have the thrust, you have that motion coming here. You can hook punch, you can uppercut up under the chin. I love it if he's got his hands on you, he's already made contact, and he's trying to grab you. You can smash something under here, and then bring this up here, and then thrust through there, and then slide it. Remember, we did that with the other stick. You can do the same thing with your shillelagh same things that you did with the, what we just used, the hanbo, the Japanese, the Okinawan hanbo, or any other straight stick. It does it with canes. We're talking about cane self-defense, cane fighting for self-defense. So far we've used the straight stick. I showed you 2 ways to get it in the fight. I'm gonna show you the third here in a minute, but I wanna show you some Irish stick fighting with Irish cane and holding it in this position like you're doing push-ups. With the Irish cane, you can also hold it here and you can block, you can get it behind you, you can strike that way, you can strike up this way, but in this position or this position, either a split grip or a same grip. I'm gonna show you the same grip here for this rolling of the wrist. I want you to practice this technique, and that becomes a strike. It's very fast, very explosive. You can strike on either side, but the key here is turning your hand out, but also at the same time. Remember that spiral we just did with the other self-defense cane? There's that spiraling motion, coming here, coming down on top. So you can practice, and when you do that, you want to turn your shoulders and hips for the same reason. More speed, more power, more range, more distance. You're gonna have more inches going into his face, smashing for self-defense when you turn your shoulders and hips so much. And then this hand becomes a backstop, so you can bring it back in quickly and hit. Now there are other traditional ways to use the shillelagh that I will not teach for 2 reasons. I'm not an Irish shillelagh instructor. I don't have any rank in it. I don't have any official training in it. Just, some seminars here and there, what people have showed me who know it. And number 2, because I don't care. It's not that I don't care about the art. I think it's beautiful. I think all the martial arts are beautiful, whether it's Eastern, Western, Indian, Asian, Chinese, European, they're all great, right? But at my advanced age, at our age, as we get older, I want to do what works. I want to do what's going to keep myself and my family safe. So there might be some really cool ways to get, I can't even do that anymore. I can't go that low. Some things that I learned while I was learning these things that I don't teach anymore. And it's not because I don't value them. I see the esoteric value 1,000%. Like kata, I see the value in kata still to this day. If I were still teaching officially in a school, I would still do some kata. But it's a great way to describe repetition. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons for it. But when you and I train, I want you to get your stick in the fight as fast as possible. So let's talk about the third way to get that stick in the fight. We're going back to and the spin is not part of the fighting, by the way. The spin is just because I can do it and it feels good on my forearm. All right, so we did behind the stick. Make the advantages that it's harder for him to grab, and there are also great things that you can do from this position, especially with the two hands. We went down the front, point the thumb at the threat, and then we use it the same way you would a collie stick and a screamer stick, arnis, or a short sword. You can bring it around, you can get all fancy, a kung fu sword, however you want to see that, a butterfly sword or a Tai Chi sword. I've got a Tai Chi sword in the corner. I almost did a Tai Chi thing tonight. Working on my Tai Chi as I get older. I'm starting to like Tai Chi. I knew I would get older and I would start to appreciate Tai Chi. I've never appreciated it. I only appreciate it this much though, but it's growing. I knew when I was younger, I was just too young to teach it. I was too young to do it. I forced myself though, because so many people wanted it. So I went to classes and I got an instructor and I did it for like a year and a half, learning one Tai Chi form, one good form. And then I taught it to people and I just hated it the whole time. But I'm starting to grow some appreciation for it. All right, so maybe we'll do some Tai Chi, who knows? We did sliding down the front, point the thumb, right? Two hands, thrusting, changing the hands. We did all that. We did the blocking. We did this offset to the side, stepping to the side, striking, changing hands. We didn't go into detail. I'm going to go into detail on that on the next one. And the third way to carry it is just like this. This is the most common way that I see people in my neighborhood carrying it, by the way. I have a lot of old people in this neighborhood, a lot of retirees, and an old cop he was a cop at like 3 different departments, and he had like a full career at each one. He's that old, great guy. He carries a riot baton, a long one, in case someone's dog attacks his little dog, and he has to defend his little dog. And that's why a lot of people carry sticks, to defend themselves and defend their animals, defend their human animals, their wives, their children, their grandchildren. So you can carry it like this. From here, to get in the fight, you can simply pick it up. There's that Irish stick fighting, right? Holding this position. Or you can turn it under. There's that Japanese bokken, or the Jo staff, or the hanbo. But just holding this position. So if you were walking along, minding your own business, someone is a threat, this looks more threatening. You look like Buford T. Pusser. Pusser or Pusser? Buford T. Pusser. Pusser. Walking tall. Or they say Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick. There it is. So you can bring it like this, immediately defend yourself, or you carry it like this. But it's a lot more threatening if you're walking around like this than if you were using it as you would a walking stick. And I've been using a cane a lot lately because my hip has been killing me. All right, we talked about the shillelagh a little bit. I want to talk about the crook, because this is a Cane Masters self-defense cane. I think Cane Masters makes the best product. I know a lot of you have Cane Masters. And it's super well made. This one's hickory. I love the design. The more I use it, the more I like it. I like how quick it is, how fast it is, and how effective. But I wanted to talk about the crook. First, I wanted to show you that if you held it crook facing out, you can get it into the fight the same way we started, with your hand sliding down the back. And you can punch, you can hook, you can uppercut, you can smash, you can thrust, you can chop. And here's where the crook comes in. It's like a big knuckle or a hatchet. And you chop, and then you have this beveled piece here where you can stick it into the soft tissue on the body. And you can rip. This will pull a tooth out of someone's mouth. This will rip a nose off the face. This will rip the eyes out for self-defense. That's very effective. That's a unique feature on this that you don't have on the other ones. One of the other features is the Americans with Disabilities Act says if it has a crook on it, you can take it anywhere you go. The other ones, I'm not sure about that. I know that most people don't care when you take them. Like you can take it on, I've seen people take straight canes through TSA all the time and onto the plane. But I know that the law says you can carry a cane with a crook. And someone will say in the comment section, well, what about that tip? TSA obviously not gonna, yeah, they do. All day long, all year long, canes from Cane Masters are going through TSA. Looking just like that. So your hand can slide down the back. You can punch. Another way you can use it, which is unique to the crooked cane, is you can bring it straight up between his legs. You could also do that with a derby cane, but you can bring it up and then you can bring it down. Now this turning motion is unique to this kind of cane. So I wanted to show you the crooked cane in case you wanted to get a cane master self-defense cane. Well, how is it different than a straight cane? It looks more like a traditional cane, and you might not be comfortable with that yet. I don't care what people think. So I care about being able to walk around with less pain. Right now it's been my right hip, so I carry it usually in my left when my hip really flares up really bad. I had flare up today that put me like on the ground almost. It hurt so bad. And I had to use my cane to mobilate, to walk around. I don't think it's called mobilate. To walk. I needed my cane to walk. So you have this cane. You can have it crook facing out or crook facing back. Now the purpose or the benefit of crook facing out, facing him, is you have this shillelagh style, that big knot, right? But you all in the shorter side, but that makes it an easier grip. If you did grab the end of your cane, you would simply grab the bottom of the cane and bring it straight up. Now you've got more leverage, or better yet, turn and bring it down across the side of his face for self-defense, or through his hand if he wouldn't let go. So he grabbed here, you grab here, turn first, and then push the backhand and turn the shoulders and hips at the same time, taking a step, get your whole body into it. He might be a big, muscular, younger person, but you have your whole body weight, the weight of your body and all your muscles, even if you're not as strong as you used to be, when you take a step and turn your hips at the same time. So remember that. We'll go over that at some point. But this twisting motion, and you learn that, practice that with what we call combat cane spinning. And I didn't coin the term. Maybe Joe Robina did, I think. I've heard him say it the most. Heard Gary Hernandez say it maybe. Maybe not. If you didn't say it, Gary, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I know Keith Melton's said it. I've heard him say it. Maybe he did it. Maybe Mark Shuey, who started the whole, he didn't start cane fighting. Cane fighting's been around for probably thousands of years. It's in a lot of different martial arts. But anyway, combat cane spinning. Palm faces the sky, the long side comes out of your thumb, and you crank it around. Your hand is mostly relaxed, and then you can bring it across and back. Think of a slap across his face and a back fist. You're just making a sideways figure eight or an infinity symbol. And you might not do this in the fight, but you might do part of it. You might bring it down and bring it back and bring it through and bring it back and bring it up and bring it down on his head. And you might use pieces of the spin, which is why we practice the spin. It's also going to put callus on your hand, develop proprioception, timing and distance. Going back to why do boxers skip rope? Boxers don't bring the rope into the fight. We get that a lot. People don't like when I spin a bow. They don't like when I say bow staff either because it means staff. I can just imagine some weenie karate teacher yelling at, you can't say bow staff, that means staff. Okay, sensei. Oops. I'm not making fun of them, I'm just having fun. Just because I know some of those guys. All right, so you spin it, and people are like, you can't spin it, there's no value, you're gonna lose, it's gonna fall to the ground, you're sacrilegious with the bow. But we spin it like the same reason the boxer skips rope, that trying to make that point, trying to beat that dead horse. Don't worry if someone says you can't spin your staff. I can't tell you what to do, there's no law. There's no international law against spinning a cane or a staff or anything else. This spinning is gonna allow you to hit a lot faster and harder when you increase the spin. And then when you're ready, you throw it in the other hand and it's fun. There's a benefit. I find it a stress reliever. It's like a moving meditation. You can do all kinds of fancy Charlie Chaplin kinds of spins. But you can also hit people with them for self-defense, which is why I like them. Well, I think you might like them too. Hey, Retired 85's new member. Oh, it's been a member for 47 months. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. All right, so we have spinning, coming back and forth, coming down. You can also have your hand sliding down the front, point the thumb. You have all of the same strikes that we did with the other canes when we do cane fighting for self-defense, holding in this position. Holding this way, I forgot to mention, once you extend that long lever and the way your wrist is made, when it comes out of the pinky, the long side comes out of the pinky side, Ergonomically, that's a better position, stronger. It's easier on your wrist if you start to walk like this. So if you use a cane for mobility, try that. If you're not already, I find it much more comfortable. Now the crook facing out, when you're here, because of the way your wrist bends, you can see it. There's that long line, comes across the hand, goes down that way. So it's a compromise. It's not as strong. So practice, turn around there, comes out there. So whether you prefer, and I want to show you one more thing before we finish. That's how to get stronger, faster strikes. Get yourself one of these bands. I did put a link in the description if you need one. And put it across your chest. The band goes across your back. And now you can do standing push-ups. And you do pushes straight, you pushes down, you pushes up. You bring your hands into the middle, to your forehead, and you extend for the triceps. You can throw the band under your bum, throw your hips back, sit into it, and curl, hands inside the band, get a wider grip, hit the muscle in a different way. Turn your hands over, hit the top and that brachialis. And that's gonna make your grip so much stronger. All your strikes are gonna be faster. And there's one other thing I wanted to show you. I had a whole list. I'm trying to work them all in. It's probably too much for one video, but I appreciate you guys hanging out. We did this kind of spin. That's combat cane spinning. This is more what you'll see in Eskrima, Arnis, Filipino martial arts, Salat, Sayak, Kali. Trying to think of all the from the diaspora of the Majapahit Kingdom. I had a guy that used to talk like that. I don't even know I do know what that means, I'm just joking. But I think it's funny. It's not funny, it's the quirkiness of us martial artists. When I'm joking about other people who've been in martial arts as long as I am, I'm joking about myself. Because I'm just as dorky. I've done all the things. I had all the same passion. I still do have the deep passion for it. People on the outside don't always appreciate it. But that's okay. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me. Doing it for you. So we can do it together. But practice that. Practice that spin. Build strength in your hand. Just make sure when you do it, you don't cheat. Don't open your hand like that. You're not twirling a baton. You're trying to crank them in the head, knock them out for self-defense power. All right. Yeah, Europe's crazy right now, Hank says. What's not? And it's all a show. It's all a show. So just remember, look inside, look upward, and protect your mind against all the garbage coming in. Only put good stuff in. Good stuff will come out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Studer. It's good to see you.